talk a little bit about the life issue regarding abortion. Is it basically, is it one of those things where it's freedom for me but not for thee? What is it that people are saying about that with the youngest generation?
Interestingly, this has become the number one issue for the Kamala Harris campaign in particular. And she has said many times on the campaign trail herself that it is the only issue that women should remotely be thinking about when it comes to casting their vote, which frankly, I find wildly insulting, and encouraging women to vote solely with their uterus rather than their brain or their heart and soul for what's going on with the problems in our country, but also is failing to understand where American culture sits currently on the issue of abortion entirely. How many times during this campaign have we heard Kamala Harris say she supports an any reason, at any time, or no reason whatsoever, all-access abortion campaign through all 9 months of pregnancy? She's refusing to acknowledge that in 9 states plus the District of Columbia, that is in fact legal in the United States today to even have a partial birth abortion. And in her running mate's home state in Minnesota, we know there have been at least 8 children under Tim Walz's gubernatorial staff being in office over the last few years that have been born alive from a failed abortion and left to die on the table. These are documented realities, and there is a very clear campaign to convince you those things are really bad, and we know they're really bad, and you feel kind of uncomfortable by them, but they're not really happening because this is the only issue that women are allowed to care about. I find that incredibly insulting and a slap in the face to the intelligence of women, but also to the empathy that our country is truly experiencing to this issue. Our technology only continues to improve. Our understanding of what an abortion truly is only continues to improve. And if you're fortunate to be pregnant today, you can go in for an ultrasound at 6 weeks and hear your baby's heartbeat, see your baby moving around on the screen. We know brainwave activity starts at 6 weeks old. I mean, this is a very clear-cut, different culture than it was when we were talking about abortion at the time of Roe v. Wade being instituted in 1973. As a result of that, 9 in 10 voters under the age of 45 support at least some restrictions on abortion, are deeply uncomfortable with the idea of an all-access abortion campaign being put forth by Kamala Harris under the umbrella guise of women's rights or reproductive health care or whatever label we want to call it. So there's a clear disconnect between where the average American is, man or woman, particularly young voter, and what the Democrat Party is trying to convince Americans, young women, are trying to believe. And I really think that comes down to our knowledge getting better, our empathy for others getting better, our medicine and technology getting better. But not many people are willing to fill the gap for that conversation because for whatever reason, historically, I think the Republican Party has been very shy on this issue. And the approach to this on the presidential campaign trail in particular has been, don't bring it up. It's too controversial. We never want to answer questions about this. This is the single biggest moral and ethical issue, human rights issue of our time. And I often am quoted on college campuses that later goes viral in the media that this is truly the biggest genocide the human race has ever seen. We're talking about 63 million people who are innocent people being murdered, slaughtered, dismembered in the womb in the most grotesque of ways, which is difficult to talk about, but so important for us to talk about so that we know, solely for their location, their size, their inconvenience to another human being. I recently read, for Gen Z in particular, that 1/3 of our generation is not here solely because of abortion.
Yeah.
1 in 3 of us. Those are future husbands and wives, future professors, inventors, doctors, maybe the next president of the United States or inventor like an Elon Musk. And we've convinced ourselves that it is so good for humanity that this must continue to exist. I think what American voters are really looking for now that we know better is simply moral clarity on the issue and a courage and a boldness to tell the truth, even when it's really difficult to hear.
Yeah. Oh, man, so well said. You think about 1 in 3, too, when you think about 63 million people over the course of 50 some odd years, That's like 10 trillion or 15 trillion missing from the economy. And so even even if you were a utilitarian who had
Totally.
no moral value whatsoever, you could say dollars and cents, every life actually has immense economic value even. And so it's ironic to me, though, that those who support a nanny state, administrative state, who would want to tax the life out of everything, don't actually want bodies to tax, which is it's insane. But here's the other thing, and Isabel, you hit the nail on the head too, in terms of just the insult to young women. The price being paid for inconvenience is the death of an unborn child. They are paying that price, not the adults. Today, I see in the classroom, in state schools, children are paying the price.
Yeah.
Not even their parents. I hate to say this, and it's not an indictment against parents, but we do need to wake up that some parents think it's inconvenient to homeschool or think it's inconvenient to take their kids out of government-run schools. They continue to subject their children to this indoctrination without actually addressing the issue. So we blame teachers, we blame teachers' unions, but parents are the ones who have to stand up and do something about it. That's why I think it's so important that we speak up and we draw these lines in the sand. Hey, did you find this helpful? I hope you did. Please like and subscribe, share with a friend, and also go to standingforfreedom.com where you can find more content, articles, podcasts, and our Theology of Politics series, all at standingforfreedom.com.